As we get started, I'd like to ask you a question. It's a question I've asked hundreds of executives in the hundreds of workshops that I've run. And it is very simply, how many projects are you working on? How much work are you doing that doesn't involve someone else? Someone from another function, someone from another team, your own team members. And when you think about it, the answer is typically none or very few. And the second question I'd like to add to that is, how many of these teams you're working on involve people who aren't located in the same place you are? In other words, how many of those teams are truly virtual teams where people are in different locations, are different geographies, different time zones, bring different cultural perspectives to the table? And that's what we want to talk about. Because more and more leaders find themselves at the hub of what we considered a team-based enterprise, where they're trying to manage and get productivity, optimize the resources of any number of teams working on a variety of projects. It's a complex task. And more of these teams are spread across the planet and bringing together diverse people trying to get something done that is of purpose and meaning and will help the organization to succeed. So that's what we want to talk about today. But the first question I want to ask you is, do you really need a team? And by that I mean, there are variations of bringing people together to try to get work done. One way to look at it is there's a work group. And this is basically people coming together who can work independently and try to accomplish a task. And you don't need to necessarily worry about the camaraderie, the collaboration. It really is a bunch of people with given expertise trying to get something done. And that's a work group. And I would dare say that much of what we're doing involves work groups as opposed to true teams. Teams require interdependence. They require people working together in order to achieve their objective. So a key difference between a work group and a team is that a team has that interdependence and really cannot accomplish the task without people working together to get it done. A virtual team is a team with that high degree of interdependence, but they're separated by geography, culture, time, whatever it may be, and whatever diversity they bring to the table that has to be managed in order for the team to function well. So virtual teams are interdependent entities where people come together to try to get something done. They're just separated by a variety of diverse elements. And therefore, they cause a little bit more complexity on the part of the manager to try to get true productivity out of them. But before we venture much further, I want to make sure that there are some key criteria to tell whether or not you truly need a team and whether you have a team on your hands or whether it's a work group. And there's three basic criteria being: one, is there a common goal? Is there something that all of the team members are trying to achieve in unison? Second is there truly interdependence? Can the work only be accomplished by the collaboration and the collective actions of the team members? And last, are the decisions that need to be made fall under the jurisdiction of the team? In other words, most of the decisions that need to be made by all of the team members. So if you have a common goal, require interdependence, and there's joint decision making, then you have really the basic criteria of a team. But given that, let's think about, why do we need virtual teams at all? It's so much simpler just to walk down the hall, go into a conference room, tap on someone's door, pull the team together and get something done. And when you think of it, there's just so many teams out there in this team-based environment that we operate in, the team-based enterprise. There's project teams, there's leadership teams, there's task teams, there's agile scrum teams, there's skunk works, where innovation teams trying to create new and exciting products and technologies. And the key part is all of these teams can be virtualized. All of these teams can be virtual teams. And the benefit of doing that is that you take advantage of all of the resources. And there are many benefits. You have access to a wide array of talent, no matter where it's located, to bring them into what's trying to get done. There's efficiency, saving money in terms of cost and travel. There's cultural diversity, many different points of view. As you can see on the slide here, there's a lot of benefits that come from being a virtual team. The question is, are you as a manager prepared? Are you as a leader prepared to do the hard work that it takes to pull together a virtual team and make it happen? There's no doubt that all teams are hard. There's no doubt that all teams take quite an effort to make them successful. Virtual teams, because of their unique attributes, require a little bit more effort and certainly a lot more discipline on the part of the manager to make sure that they're working together to achieve their common aim. So before we dive too much deeper into the specifics of how to go about leading virtual teams, let's take a break, go to the workbooks, and there's a template in there that asks you to pick a virtual team that you're currently managing or teams that you're currently managing and do some assessment with them. So please go to the workbook, do the exercise, and then we'll start again.